Hi, my name is Jody Wilmot, and I am currently a student at the University of Kansas studying international human rights. I am also an American biracial woman who has grown up in Lawrence, Kansas my entire life. I come from a big, loud, rambunctious family who's not afraid to shout out to the universe our opinions. We definitely have a unique style of communication. So whenever I bring friends to dinner, they think my family is arguing, when in reality, we just love a good debate. I have a unique communication style based on the culture and background that I come from. This is just one small example of how the cultures and backgrounds we come from affect our communication styles. The diverse world we live in is becoming more and more connected every single day. It is important to understand cultures that are different from your own and their communication styles. Cross-cultural communication is a must in business and in your day-to-day life. It plays a vital role in successfully establishing the product or service in a different area of the globe and communicating with consideration of other cultures. When the communication is effective, the product or service is appropriately tailored to the cultural norms and expectations. Ineffective cross-cultural communication can offend, confuse, or send a misunderstood message which could lead to broken relations. This is why it is so important to understand how to speak respectfully to a multitude of cultures. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about cross-cultural communication and giving you some tips on how you can communicate respectfully in a cross-cultural community. First, I'm going to tell you about some of the challenges you might face during cross-cultural communication. Language and culture are some of the basic challenges that you might face. Obviously, it is difficult to communicate with someone who speaks a different language than you. But learning the language of different countries is important. It is necessary even for the basic level of understanding required to engage in appropriate greetings and physical contact, which can be tricky area and interculturally. For instance, kissing a business associate is not considered an appropriate business practice in the US, but in Paris, one peck on each cheek is an acceptable greeting. And the firm handshake that is widely accepted in the US is not recognized in all cultures. Ethnocentrism is also a big challenge when it comes to cross-cultural communication. This refers to a tendency to use your own culture as a standard by which to judge and evaluate other cultures. But everyone has their own set of cultural background that they come from. Like I said, I have a very forward way of communicating, but this is not the way that everyone communicates. So I have to be aware of that and respect other people's differences when I'm speaking. The same idea should be applied when you are communicating cross-culturally. Just because you do something a certain way does not mean that it is the best or the only way that a task can be completed. It is important to keep in mind that just because someone may do things differently, it does not mean that one way is better than the other. Researching cultures is a great way to preserve respect. The more you know about different cultures, the less likely you are to say or do something to offend someone else's culture when communicating. Respect is the main point in cross-cultural communication. Whether you are traveling to another country, speaking to a multicultural audience, or giving a global business plan, the main key to cross-cultural communication is respect. Show your respect to other cultures by taking part in their local customs and traditions if you are visiting, and gather an understanding of what gestures or expressions are considered useful before speaking to a cross-cultural audience. It is important to avoid assumptions when you are talking to a cross-cultural audience. It is to not assume that the way you behave is the universally accepted rule of behavior, and to not assume that the ideas or stereotypes that you hold about another person's culture is inherently true. It is also important when talking to a cross-cultural audience to avoid slang. Slang words are unique to individual cultures and not always interpreted correctly. To ensure effective cross-cultural communication, don't use slang words others might not know. It is also important to avoid humor. What is funny in one person's culture might not be funny in another. Humor might be misunderstood, interpreted in a bad light, While humor is a good icebreaker, it can backfire when cross-cultural group misses humor's meaning. When in doubt, avoid using humor until you know your audience better. Again, research, research, research. If you know you're going to go on a business meeting to Japan, or you're going off to college for the first time in a new city, research the customs and traditions and culture of where you are going. Again, the more you know, the better. Cross-cultural communication is not going. There we go. Cross-cultural communication is not exclusive to communicating with people from different countries than you. Tune in to a political argument between employees from different backgrounds or who are strongly affiliated with a particular political group. Watch an interaction with a parent, teacher, supervisor, with someone of a different generation. We communicate cross-culturally every single day. So next time you're communicating with someone from another culture or background than you, I hope that some of these tips I gave you will help you do so in a respectful and educated manner. Thank you.